Hey, fellow gamers, what's good? B Chambers from Alloy 7 Video with yet another now playing episode of Divinity 2, Dragon Knight Saga. And as promised last time, I did indeed find Lord Lovis. A couple of things I'm not going to do in this particular episode. One is make you sit through the egregious dialogue. Well, the dialogue itself was not egregious, but the length of it was just, whew. So I'm not going to make you sit through it, even though you may have missed a couple of story points. It's actually not the focal point of this particular game, but what we're going to do now is actually go and carry out the mission that he has given us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Promise this one will not be as long as the last episode. Alrighty then. So a couple of things I want to cover in this particular episode. First and foremost, I would like to catch you up on where we are in the story, since I did indeed skip the conversation with Lord Lovis. Well, I missed that. Glad I didn't miss it this time around. I want to bring you up to speed with what's going on actually in the story. If you'll forgive me real quick, I need to look at the map to make sure I'm oriented in the right direction. And indeed I am. So one of the beautiful things about this game, if I can create a side note here, is no fall damage. Love that in my open world RPGs. Now, in terms of story, basically, you start off as what the game calls a dragon slayer. So if you've been watching the episodes, you're probably familiar with that terminology. And it's essentially a group of people who hunt dragons, and because they believe that the dragons are actually the taint of this particular world of Rivalon. But what you find out when you run into an actual one of the dragon or dragon knights, which is a human infused with the soul of a dragon, you find out that it's actually a twisted tale that's led people to believe that these dragons are ultimately the evil ones, when indeed they are not. They are the protectors of this land. So she has essentially turned me into a dragon based on the fact, as I told you guys earlier, that I did not have the opportunity to go through with the ceremony or the rite that's necessary in order to fend off each dragon slayer from becoming a dragon. So I am now a dragon. I'm with the dragon team. As you can probably guess, my original teammates, or the team that I was a part of, are going to write me off. They're probably going to excommunicate me. Actually, they are going to, spoiler alert. But bottom line, that's where we are in the story. We find out that the dragons are really the real deal, and now I'm on a quest to uncover, or really to avenge, the dragons who have been done wrong throughout history, and take out the people who have created this situation where folks are improperly hunting down dragons. So on another note, now that I've got you brought up to speed on this, the specifics of the story at large, one of the other things I want to point out about this game that I really appreciate is what I consider to be very excellent writing. And it's as simple as that. You've heard some of the voice acting. It's actually done very well for a game that's obviously got a lower budget than the Skyrim's. Uh-oh, she's talking.
The desire of all the power hungry.
All right.
The gateway to your dragon might.
So Maxos is the temple that I've been told to seek out to look for the folks that we've got to start wrecking shop on. But back to, the excellent voice acting and what I consider to be excellent writing. Something I noticed when I did a side quest was there's a lot of reference to other stories in popular culture. So if you've seen the movie Citizen Kane, there was actually a reference to that movie in one of the cutscenes where I had to go rescue these pigs. And the way I did it was I whispered to them Rosebud, which is a huge plot point in the movie Citizen Kane. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but I do recommend that you watch it, as it's considered to be one of the best, if not the best, movies in the world. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I'll take the critics who are better at rating movies than I am's word for it. Oh, it looks like these guys are friendly. But the bottom line is I really appreciate those types of touches that they've put into the game. So I'm now on my way to the Maxos Temple, hopefully to recover what Lord Lovis has asked me to recover so that he can help me take down Damien and a handful of other people whose names escape me at present. But I gotta go talk to this dude.
Hello there, touched of dragon. I am Zix, the almost wise. It is a most obvious thing for the few who have had the privilege of eons of life There were times that the dragon gift was the greatest prize of all, but now the silly humans hunt the old race. Even you did, as your eyes betray. But now you'll be forced to see the true hue of reality. Then again, I do trot on ants, and who knows how erudite and august they once were. I am an imp historian, blessed with the knowledge. Pretty impressive job description, no? Do you want my card? It's odd, sadly. Even one with my vast wisdom can still get stuck in a dimension.
So as you can see, he's pointing out a lot of what I covered, or he's very quickly summarizing what I covered in the story summary.
With the power of words.
All right.
That is why, to those even stronger than me, I am known as Zix-Zax, the almost wise. I used ancient pyramid stones to open gateways to dimensions, but I had to give them to some human who had to fight the black ring of the demon of lies, or blah, blah, blah.
So as you can see, like I said, the voice acting is very good.
That's the fellow, yes. He may have been the divine, but he didn't give me back my teleporter stones. And now he's up there with the other gods, and I'm stuck in this cockamamie. Best wishes.
All right. So let's get into this Maxos temple. Actually, let me go activate this travel shrine. This is how the game handles quick travel, so that you do not have to run back and forth to areas. One thing you'll find interesting about this game that I didn't mention in the First Blood episode, specifically dealing with combat, is the fact, yes, this is the part. Let me save. Another bit of advice here, save often in this game. But you're getting ready to see one of the major plot points play out here. But another interesting thing about this game is enemies do not respawn. Once you have killed all the enemies in an area, that is a wrap for that area. So ensure, just like I said with the side quests, that you are doing the best you can to find and destroy every enemy that you can find, because you will definitely need the XP they drop in order to level properly to beat the final boss, which is not easy.
I was sure she'd be back to claim us as her prey. She's vain like that.
We can't wait here forever. And besides, you're right. If she was still alive, she'd have been back by now.
I reckon that stab you treated her to just before she flew away must have finished her off.
Perhaps. But no, we need to be sure. Too much is at stake. Let's head back to the village and... Hey! What are you doing here?
A dragon? You? To kill Damien?
Silence, Marius. This is no laughing matter. How dare you speak such poisonous words? No, Slayer... But... what is this? That aura? Oh, no! No! She got to you, didn't she? Friendship? Between Slayer and Dragon? That can never be.
Come on, girl.
Your life is hereby forfeit. You shall perish at the hand of Dragon Slayers, as all of the traitor race have done before you. It is not a pleasant duty, but there is no other way. Here, take the sword Arben gave you. Remember the tenets of the Slayers and die with honor. Marius, when it is done, soak the sword in the dragon's blood and bring it to the Academy, so that it may serve as a warning for our disciples. Farewell, Dragon Slayer, for that is how I will try to think of you.
This is not how I imagined this day would pass. But there's nothing for it, I suppose. So, let's get this over with. The dragon must be slain. I can't.
All right, so as you can see, they are trying to put a hurting on me. Oh, wow, they got me locked down. They got me locked down. Uh-oh.
My wounds are grave.
Like I said, this game is not easy, to say the least. If you are not very tactical in how you approach some of these fights, they can really put a hurting on you. Like with this spell right here,
There's a potion right about
where they just basically lock you down.
Bring it on.
All right, so that's 2 down, 1 to go. And so as you can see, Tale of Betrayal.
There's certainly no turning back now. Your past is as dead as your former friends.
So as I said in the first episode, it's definitely a tale of betrayal, but not intentional betrayal. You know, it's just kind of the way the world works. And it turns out that now I'm on the side that they are against. And let's see if I have the ability to level up. I do not. So I'm going to have to probably shank some of my items to pick up some of this better stuff here. And also the loots have actually, the loot drops have actually started to pick up. I actually don't need that. Curious. Would definitely like to have that though, for sure. So I won't bore you guys by jumping into the menu and actually going through this item switcheroo that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and shut this episode down now that you've seen a major update to the plot. I will probably pick up the next episode as we enter the Maxos Temple to carry out what Lord Lovis has asked us to do. So thank you for riding along with me. As always, please remember to rate, to favorite, to subscribe, and above all else, to leave us commentary with what you think about the video and ultimately what you think about the game and whether or not this may inspire you to play it. So without further ado, this is B Chambers signing off. Allow me to tell all of you peace and Godspeed.
Alloy.